Hey there, it's Kamisha Brewer Dickerson with the CEO Clinician podcast, where we teach new and emerging leaders how to be mentally healthy as you're doing business. During this show, you will hear stories about leadership and running a business effectively. I'll show you how I was able to transition from being an underpaid, overworked clinician to becoming the CEO clinician with a thriving private practice, a speaking and coaching business with multiple streams of income while working through grief and anxiety. You'll also hear from our incredible guests on how they were able to successfully build their businesses while facing mental health challenges of their own. Their stories are unbelievable. If you want to learn how to be mentally healthy as you're doing business, listen to this podcast and then head over to cbrewerconsulting.com to grab a copy of my book and learn how to work with us. Ready to hear the episode? Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing great and you are starting the week off ready to go, ready to serve, ready to do some really good clinical work. Today, I'm going to be teaching you some marketing tips. Of course, everybody wants to talk about marketing, so we're going to talk about marketing. I'm going to share with you some marketing tips, but I'm also going to tell you about the 3-day challenge last week that happened and all the training, all the goods, some recaps, some takeaways. We're going to talk about that too. So, before I get started, let me introduce myself. Many of y'all are new, and I'm so grateful to be a part of your world. Many of you, I'm your coach now, as of this morning or over the weekend, so that's exciting for me to meet new people. But I'm Cameisha. I'm an LPC practicing here in the state of Arkansas. I am a business coach for new therapists, so I teach the newbies how to set up, structure, market, and scale their private practice in just 60 days without relying on directories or paid ads. We don't hate them. We just use them in a different way, so we're not fully depending on the practice to operate online only, and also work with established therapists, teaching you guys how to scale your practice, how to package your expertise, how to market, how to get sales, how to create consistent income in your business. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, you can head on over to cbrewerconsulting.com and check out the coaching tab to figure out some ways we can work together and I can help you get your practice built. So that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm a speaker. I'm an author of the book Thought Life Confessions. I am currently in the process of working on my second book, which will release next year. So really excited about that project. So so many good things happening. So much fun. So let's talk about the challenge. Many of you were invited by a friend, or you saw my team and I marketing and promoting online or in a Facebook group or in your DMs. We've been telling you about the 3-day challenge, the 3-day challenge. And so some of you are like, okay, I missed it. I got it on the tail end. I missed registration. What is it? So the 3-day challenge is a 3-day workshop. It is a training where I teach you about mindset on night one. I teach you about your money, about your finances, how to get compensated. I teach you more in depth about marketing and branding and storytelling. I teach you how to start making some moves in your practice. And when I say making moves, I mean how to start leading your practice beyond the practice, leading yourself into a new lifestyle, leading yourself into new opportunities, not just networking to be networking just so you can say that you've been networking. Like, we're past that. We're moving on to the big leagues where we're now only doing strategic networking and strategic alliances and partnerships with people and organizations and other therapists who are in alignment with who we are and what we do. So the 3-day challenge is so good and it's free. We do them every couple of months. Next one is scheduled for September. So you can click the link now and just get on the email list so you can be notified of when the next challenge is. But it was so good because we were able to go deeper and talk about the mindset work. We were able to go deeper and talk about fear and insecurity. We talked about how to structure your practice, how to start setting your fees, how to start setting your rates. We talked about branding and marketing, but let me just tell y'all my thoughts about branding and marketing. I feel like for the industry that we're actually in, which is not the digital marketing space and not the online space, I feel like there is way too much emphasis on the success of your private practice being directly connected to your website or being directly connected to search engine optimization, SEO, or being directly connected to ads and funnels and all these other things. Because honestly, mental health, even though we have virtual practices, we can do all of those things offline. I'm not saying don't have a website. I'm not saying don't create an online presence and use social media and create content. I'm saying you can do private practice and be full if you don't have that solidified just yet. If you don't have a very strong online presence, if you don't feel confident in your ability to market online or to create content, if you're still working through some fears and insecurities and some confidence issues about showing up online or showing up to do a live video, you can still build a private practice without all of that. And that's what I teach therapists how to do, is how to do it using relationship-based marketing as your most effective strategy. Now, once you get your relationships, yeah, we need you to be showing up. But at that point, it's a lot easier to show up when you got money coming in. It's a lot easier to show up when you have clients booking your services, when you're able to convert clients after doing your initial consultation call. It's a lot easier to do the hard things that will stretch you and really make you start showing up in a different way. It's hard to do those things when you don't have money. So I teach you how to start making money first, and then take the money and then go build the website. Take the money and then invest in SEO. Take the money and then hire help or delegate to an intern. So I'm teaching you how to make money first, and then from the cash injections we create in your practice, then you can go on and do all the other things. So that's what the challenge was about. And it was so good. I even, this round, first time ever, I added a bonus training on how to be creative and not just clinical. And this challenge round was really cool because we did it in an online portal. I used Kajabi, and so I was able to do it that way so y'all could watch the replay. Because I know, first of all, I'm Central Time. I'm in Arkansas, so a lot of the therapists we serve on the East Coast, or you guys are on the West Coast. Some of you were even on Mountain Time. I'm not even sure what that is, but everybody's on a different time zone. So sometimes getting to a live training every evening at the end of the day is difficult because, you know, you've got family responsibilities. Some of y'all, depending on where you live, you're sitting in traffic, like it's a whole thing. So we wanted to make that accessible for you, and we got your feedback forms, and apparently y'all really like that. So we're probably going to continue to deliver the content that way. But for the bonus training with me, I did teach that live because I wanted to meet you and to connect with you, learn about your practices. But the bonus training was about how to be creative and not just clinical. And the reason that's important is because I feel like sometimes our private practices can get really mundane and stale and boring and stagnant, which breeds complacency. And shout out to Lindsay. Lindsay's out here killing it, but she has a whole training on complacency and how to not be complacent in the work that you're doing. But for therapists, we got to be creative. We got to be adding new things. We got to be sprinkling amazing brilliance and glitter on it. Like it's got to be you, and it has to be authentic, it has to be genuine, and it has to be something you enjoy doing in order for you to continue to do it, and in order for people to want to be a part of the work that you do and pay you for your services. Okay, so let's be real about that. So that's the recap about the 3-day challenge. So excited and can't wait to do it again. And from the challenge, we were able to welcome several new therapists into our coaching program, Private Practice Ready. And these therapists, they don't even know what they're about to get into, but it's about to be so good. And my prayer is that it's an enjoyable experience. And I'm so honored that they chose me as their coach, and I get to really support them in building out the foundations for their practice that will essentially change their lives. And so they got a chance to meet one of the therapists who was in the challenge a couple months ago, actually. And she talked about when she launched her practice, and now she's able to afford experiences. She's able to afford a lot of new things that were not an option for her, earlier this year, but her practice is full and thriving, and it's so good. So I'm excited for the new therapists that we get to coach through the program Private Practice Ready. So let's get to it. Let's talk about marketing tips. Marketing is something I love talking about. I do, like I told y'all earlier, I really feel like the emphasis on marketing has just really blinded a lot of therapists on what it takes to run a business. Like, yes, marketing is a huge component to anything that we do. However, it's not the end all be all. Even if you have a lot of clients, if you're a terrible leader, or if you're terrible at budgeting, managing your finances, at operation, casting vision, communicating to your vision participants and your vision supporters. Like, if you're not good at some of the other things, it doesn't matter how good your marketing plan is, because you're not going to be able to retain the clients that you actually attract. So I want to kind of walk you through more of the backside of marketing and not just the front facing SEO, Google Ads, and Google Business and websites. Like, okay, cool, we got it. But what else though? So let's talk about that. So, number one, you need to start doing what makes you uncomfortable. And I know if you're an introvert like me, there's a lot of things that make us uncomfortable because it's so easy for us to be overstimulated. But you have to start somewhere, even if that means I encourage a lot of coffee dates, not random coffee dates, but people that would be really good connections for you to have in your area and in surrounding areas because people move, they move to new cities, or their kids change schools, so it's always good to have a lot of connections in your city but also the surrounding areas as well. Also, do your coffee dates, get to know people, start building genuine relationships with them, but also do some market research. You guys got to stop acting like you know everything, right? Just because you watched a few videos and you've gone to some continuing education trainings, that does not mean that you are above education or being a student when it comes to business or when it comes to marketing or even when it comes to trauma and trauma informed care. You don't know everything. Yes, you're smart. Yes, you have a license. Yes, you're credentialed. All those things are true and factual. However, you don't know everything. So you need to do market research and stop creating. This will probably be a whole podcast episode. We'll go here a little bit since it's a live video, but stop creating products and services that you haven't validated. Meaning, don't spend your time creating a workbook and an ebook and an online course and a this and a that, and you don't even know if that's what your audience wants. It's a waste of time. And I know some of y'all are just looking at the money, like, oh, I need more money, so I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to sell it. Well, you're not going to sell it if people don't want to buy it, right? So you want to take some time and study your market. Market research is a part of marketing. So before you create a group or before you create support groups on grief or trauma, whatever your thing is, you need to ask your people if that is what they want and do what makes you uncomfortable. If they say, yeah, we want this, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to deliver this? Figure it out, right? And some of you may need coaching to help you figure out a really unique way of getting it done that feels aligned to you and that's personal and customized and something you enjoy doing. So number one, do what makes you uncomfortable. Number two, you need to check your DMs. A lot of y'all are leaving money on the table because you don't check your DMs, you don't check your emails. People are connecting with you from a Facebook group and they send you a message request and it sits there for days. You guys are leaving money on the table and you're missing out and you're doing all this, complaining about marketing and not having enough connections. Well, people don't like connecting with people who are not responsive. So you need to know that I'm the type of person, I will DM you and I will DM your friends, and not on some spammy stuff. But if I see an opportunity that is not for me, or if I see an opportunity where I don't have time to do it. I've passed up a lot of speaking engagements because I was already booked. So if I know who you are and I know what you do and I know that you might be interested in this opportunity, I'm going to DM you and I'm going to reach out to you, which means you need to be checking your messages every single day, or you need to check your message every other day to make sure that you are following up and you're not leaving money on the table. There are some of you right now that I have DM'd you about something and about an opportunity, and you have not bothered to check. So what did I do? I had to give the opportunity to someone else who was more responsive. So if you are in my world at all and I know you and I know what you do, you need to always be checking your DMs. And even if we don't have that relationship yet because this is your first time watching one of my videos, you need to make sure you're checking your DMs because a lot of people will reach out. We're all in these Facebook threads and people are commenting, people are asking questions. Well, beyond the thread, it goes to the DM. So you need to make sure that you are checking your DM, you are being intentional about it, and you are responding quickly. And I won't give y'all that. I will say that for my coaching clients, but I have some strategies for how to maximize and monetize the opportunities that you get in the DM. But y'all can come work with me in private practice ready, the vault, or VIP coaching to get the rest of that. But make sure you respond quickly and you reach out to people who have reached out to you. And number three, for a marketing tip, right? These are your non-traditional marketing tips. Y'all know the tips, right? Everyone has given y'all the checklist, and YouTube has given you the checklist. TikTok has given you the checklist. Do this, network, and maximize your SEO, maximize your psychology today. Y'all know the tips. Y'all know all of that. And you've been doing all of that, and that's still not working, which means there is a deeper level of marketing that is more about you and your inward presentation and the way you operate and show up in your practice and to the world than it is about your out facing marketing strategies of what's publicly visible with your online platforms. So number three, you need to stop complaining. This is a marketing strategy. You need to stop complaining about being tired. You need to stop complaining about being busy. You need to stop complaining about not having the money. You need to stop complaining about being overwhelmed. If you're overwhelmed in your practice, that is a structure problem. That means you need to simplify what's going on in your personal life, or you need to simplify what's going on in your private practice. But regardless, you need to make some changes. And so the only way to not be overwhelmed is to simplify, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just means some things don't need to be done now, or some things don't need to be done by you. Now we have to have a conversation about delegation, right? So if that's where you're at, you need to simplify, but you need to stop complaining about how tired you are, how overwhelmed you are, how stressed out you are. One of my really good friends, Courtney, shout out to the restoration coach in Georgia. But Courtney was teaching and she started talking about word curses. Word curses meaning just putting out negative energy into the world, into the atmosphere about who you are, what you can do, what you're capable of. And if you're constantly talking about how tired you are and how overwhelmed you are and how busy you are and you can't keep up and you're unorganized, well, people will start to make that connection to who you are and what you do, your practice and your brand, which means if you're always tired and you're always overwhelmed, we're not calling you for opportunities because you can't fit the opportunities in. And there's a possibility you're going to be late, you're going to forget about the opportunity, that you're not going to execute, you're not going to be polished and professional when you get there. And if our name is attached to us referring you or recommending you, we're out. We're not doing it. So some of you guys don't have opportunities, which is affecting your marketing. And it's because of the way you talk about yourself in public. So this is hard truth, right? I'm a business coach, I'm a mindset coach. I'm not your typical LPC. I know that, but I'm just wired different. And so the people I serve, they're entrepreneurs. Even in my private practice, I serve entrepreneurs, high achieving professionals, people that are really advanced in their careers. But this is the hard truth. You're either going to do business or you're not. You're either going to market to your clients or you're not. You're either going to work on your problems or you're not. You're either going to get the money to start investing in your business, start investing in coaching, or you're not. You're going to continue to say what you don't have and what you can't do and how tired you are. And I'm telling you, it's not going to get you the results that you want. There's not a website in the world that will fix complaints. There's not enough SEO strategy in the world that will fix mindset issues. There's not enough pretty glitter glam Google business ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads. You cannot run enough ads to be able to cover up the fact that you're not very good at leadership yet and that you struggle with confidence and insecurity. You don't have enough structure in your practice or in your personal life to help you be organized. That's really your marketing problem. Right? You can do all the things that all the gurus recommend to you, but if you don't deal with you, your marketing is not going to work. So the thing I want you to take away from today's quick recap and lunch and learn with marketing tips on this Good Monday is that you have to deal with you. You are the key to your marketing. You are the key to your brand. You are the key to your private practice. People come to my private practice because they want to work with me, right? I could sell my practice right now and it wouldn't do the same. I'm not saying it would be worse or better. It just means the type of people that are attracted to the business itself would be totally different. People want to work with me. Even if they're out of network and they go self-pay, it's because they want to work with me. They want to work with Cameisha. I have to show up in a way that makes people want to work with me in my practice. I have to show up in a way that makes people want to work with me for business coaching. I have to show up in a way that makes people want to hire me to speak to their business, to speak to their organization, to speak to their college or university. Like there's a certain way you have to show up, and that's the key to your marketing. It's you. It's always been you. It's always gonna be you. There's not anything you could do online or offline that will change that. It's you. So we got to deal with you to help you with your marketing. So I hope today's training has been helpful about the marketing tips that you need to be aware of. And those of you that are interested in the challenge, click the link and grab your spot for the next one. We'll keep you on the email list so you can be notified of when doors open for the next challenge. But if you're listening to this and you're like, Cameisha, I've been listening to you for a while and I need coaching. So if you need coaching, our program, Private Practice Ready, the 8-week program, it is open all year long. But you definitely want to get in as soon as you know that this is what you want so that you can get in before the next price increase, because the price is going to continue to go up just like everything else. And your prices should also go up. And so I'll help you with the mindset piece about how to do that. But if you're interested in private practice ready, or if you're already an established therapist and you're like, I've got bigger problems, Cameisha, I've got more advanced problems with team and hiring, figuring out my sales process, building out my funnels, figuring out what my offers are and how to package my expertise, then yes, you want to definitely go to my website and let's get on a call so we can talk about getting you enrolled in VIP coaching, which is a 12-week coaching program where you get to work with me. And if you're halfway in between the two, you can grab your spot for the Vault Group Coaching Program, and that program starts in October. I'll tell you guys more about that later, but definitely, if you're brand new, consider doing Private Practice Ready so we can get your practice built in 60 days, and I will teach you all you need to know about marketing at this phase of your private practice. So thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure you share this training out with another therapist who needs it, and I will see you guys next time.